In this video, we're diving into a topic you've likely encountered through countless videos promising to unlock the secrets of Airbnb's algorithm, with claims such as, "We figured out how the Airbnb algorithm works and increased conversions by 89.99%. How I hacked the Airbnb algorithm. Over 95% occupancy all year. Get your Airbnb to page one in search every time with one trick. 10 Airbnb algorithm hacks that get more bookings." Sounds familiar, right? All these videos swear they've got the magic key to make your listing number one on Airbnb. But let me tell you straight up, this isn't another one of those videos. Nope. We're here to pull back the curtain and show you what's really going on with the Airbnb algorithm and why a lot of that stuff you're hearing is just hot air. Ever wonder why there's so much sketchy advice floating around? Let's get into it. The folks behind these secrets aren't the Airbnb wizards they claim to be. They're playing a game, tapping into your dreams of nailing the Airbnb game, all while making bank through clicks, views, and selling you courses and books that probably won't do you any good. They talk big about owning loads of successful properties, but try finding them. It's like a wild goose chase. The truth is, their real moneymaker isn't from renting out places. It's from selling you the dream. It's kind of like the gold rush. Most folks didn't strike it rich by finding gold, but by selling tools and maps to the hopeful miners. And think about it. If everyone used the same secret sauce to get to the top, how on earth would Airbnb decide who's really supposed to be number one? Imagine thousands of listings all doing the same thing. It just doesn't add up. Now let's talk about why their information is fake. The first thing you need to understand is what algorithm is. Everyone uses that word and even blame the algorithm for the lack of bookings. But do you really know what an algorithm is? Imagine you have a huge, busy market with thousands of stalls, but you only have a short time to find what you want. This is similar to what happens online with companies like Amazon, Facebook, and Airbnb. With so much information and so many options available, these companies use something called algorithms to help sort everything out and show you what you might be most interested in. Let's break this down simply. Amazon. Imagine you're searching for a new book to read. Amazon's algorithm acts like a very knowledgeable friend who knows what books you've enjoyed in the past and what other people with similar tastes have liked. It then arranges the books on the shelf, or in this case your screen, to show you those you're most likely to buy or enjoy reading, putting its top recommendations at the front. Facebook. Think of Facebook as a huge bulletin board where all your friends and family pin up their news, pictures, and thoughts. The Facebook algorithm is like a personal assistant who knows which friends you talk to most and what type of posts, like cat videos or news articles, you spend time looking at. It sorts through all these posts and shows you the ones it thinks you'll find most interesting, so you don't have to sift through everything yourself. Airbnb. Imagine you're planning a vacation and need a place to stay. Airbnb's algorithm is like a local guide who knows all the available places, your budget, the amenities you want, and what other travelers have said about their stays. Based on this, it suggests the homes or rooms that fit your needs best, making it easier for you to make a choice without having to look at every single listing in the area. In all these cases, algorithms use the data they have on your preferences, behaviors, and sometimes even what others like you have preferred to make educated guesses on what you might want to see or buy. They're like highly efficient, always working assistants that help you navigate through a sea of options, aiming to make your life a bit easier and save you time. Algorithms are like recipes for computers. Just as a recipe guides you through the steps to make a dish, telling you what ingredients to mix and in what order, an algorithm gives a computer a set of instructions to solve a problem or complete a task. These instructions are very specific and have to be followed exactly for the task to be completed correctly. Here's a simple way to understand how algorithms work. Starting point. Just like a recipe starts with gathering your ingredients, an algorithm starts with input. This input can be anything the algorithm needs to do its job, like numbers for a math problem, words for a search query, or even the clicks and interactions you have with a website. Step-by-step instructions. Once the algorithm has its input, it follows a series of steps to process this information. These steps are logical and sequential, similar to following a recipe step by step. Each step is clear and unambiguous, ensuring that any computer following the algorithm will perform the task the same way. Decision making. Sometimes an algorithm needs to make choices. If you think about a cooking recipe, at some point it might say, if the mixture looks too dry, add more milk. Algorithms do something similar by using conditions to decide what to do next based on the data they're working with. Repetition. Algorithms often need to repeat certain steps, just like kneading dough for a certain number of minutes. This repetition is controlled and precise, ensuring that the task is performed exactly as needed. Ending point. Finally, just like a recipe finishes with a delicious dish, an algorithm ends with an output. This output is the result of processing the input through all the algorithm's steps and decisions. It could be the answer to a math problem, the search results for your query, or a list of movie recommendations based on your watching habits. All right, now that we've got the basics of what an algorithm is and how it ticks, let's jump into why the stuff those gurus are telling you is about as real as a unicorn. First off, the secret sauce behind Airbnb's algorithm is under lock and key for a bunch of reasons. It's their secret recipe. If it got out, any big company with the tech muscle could copy what Airbnb's doing. The algorithm is basically rocket science, full of math and formulas that would make most of our heads spin. If the secret formula was out there, Airbnb would have a heck of a time figuring out who to put at the top of the search results. Here's another bomb for you. Airbnb's algorithm isn't there to make hosts' lives easier. Nope, it's all about making Airbnb more money by showing guests the listings that are most likely to get booked. Doesn't matter if you're a superhost or not, the algorithm's goal is to fill up those slots, not to play favorites. So despite what these gurus are blasting all over the internet, they don't have a clue about the inner workings of the algorithm. What they're really doing is dressing up some basic tips to make your listing look better and more likely to get booked if someone actually stumbles across it. But as for guaranteeing you a top spot, forget about it. Let's break down some of these so-called hacks. Professional photos? There's no proof that Airbnb's algorithm cares whether your pics are pro or not. Sure, crisp photos might catch a guest's eye, but that won't automatically bump you to the top. Collecting hearts? Think of hearts more like bookmarks. They're for guests to remember your place, not a secret signal to Airbnb that your spot is hot. A ton of hearts without bookings might just tell Airbnb your place looks nice but isn't booking, which isn't exactly a win. Killer titles and descriptions? They're important for grabbing a guest's attention, but they're not a direct line to algorithm fame. Pricing strategies? Price can influence your visibility, but it's not as straightforward as you might think. Being cheaper than the rest doesn't instantly mean you'll rank higher, but there's more to it that we'll get into. Blocking out your calendar or using other platforms? Some folks think this will make Airbnb's algorithm give them the cold shoulder. Not true. Your listing won't show up when it's not available, but there's no penalty box waiting for you. So how do you actually get a better spot in search results? When someone hops on Airbnb looking for a place, Airbnb's got a profile on them based on past bookings, searches, and even other websites they visited, thanks to cookies. We're all leaving digital footprints with every click and search. And Airbnb uses this info to try to match guests with listings they'll like. Imagine you're visiting a new town and drop by a local bakery. You try a cookie and love it, so the baker gives you a special token to remember your choice. The next time you visit, you show the token, and the baker immediately knows to offer you your favorite cookie without you having to say anything. This is similar to how web cookies work on the internet. A web cookie is a small piece of data that a website stores on your computer or mobile device when you visit it. Here's a simple breakdown of how they work and why tech companies use them. Remembering you. When you visit a website, it gives your browser, like Chrome, Safari, or Firefox, a cookie. This is the site's way of remembering who you are. Next time you visit, the site can read its cookie and remember things like your preferences or login information, making your browsing smoother and more personalized. Understanding your preferences. Cookies help websites remember what you like. For example, if you often search for cat videos on a social media site, the site might use cookies to remember this and show you more cat-related content in the future. keeping you logged in. Ever notice how you don't have to log in every single time you visit your favorite sites? That's cookies at work. They keep you logged in so you don't have to enter your username and password every time tailoring ads. This is a big one for tech companies. They use cookies to keep track of what you seem to like or what you've searched for on different sites. Then they use this information to show you ads that are more likely to interest you. For example, if you've been looking at books online, you might start seeing ads for bookstores or new book releases. Improving websites, cookies also help website owners understand how people use their sites. They can see which parts of the site are popular and which aren't, helping them make their websites better and more user-friendly. In essence, cookies are like little memory aids for websites, helping them remember you and your preferences to make your online experience smoother and more personalized. While they're incredibly useful, it's also important to be aware of privacy concerns and manage your cookie settings according to your comfort level with how your information is used online. Airbnb is playing a sneaky game with what you've been eyeing up online. Let's say you've got a thing for cabins, or maybe you're all about that pool life. Next time you hop on Airbnb, boom, there they are. Cabins or pool houses front and center. Got a listing without a pool? Tough luck if your guest is pool hungry, because your spot's going to take a backseat in the search results. Now, this next part's a bit of a hunch, but hear me out. Airbnb might just be playing detective with other cookies on your browser, trying to guess how thick your wallet is. Thinking you can splash the cash? They might show you those fancier digs. On a budget? Hello, bargain stays. Can't say for sure, but it doesn't seem too far-fetched, right? Some folks swear by incognito mode to get the real scoop on where they stand in the rankings. And sure, it does give you a bit of a clean slate, no cookies, no history. But Airbnb's still got a few tricks up its sleeve. They know your device type, whether you're Team iPhone or rocking an Android, and even your location through your IP address. And they're using all that to make some educated guesses about you. All right, folks, buckle up, because I went full detective mode on this one. I decided to crack open the mystery of Airbnb's search results by going incognito. Mission? Find out what pops up when I search for places in Austin, Texas for 4 adults. Did the same hunt on my laptop, iPhone, and Android, all hooked up to the same Wi-Fi. The plot twist? Results were kind of similar, but not identical. Why? That's the Airbnb algorithm doing its dance, trying to guess what I'd want to book. The lineup was like a mixed bag of jelly beans, sweet and sour. On my computer, the first spot went to a superhost with decent stars, but only a handful of reviews. Then there was a guest favorite shining with 5 stars and loads of love from previous guests. A newbie snuck in there too, alongside more guest favorites. But here's where it gets juicy. A listing that was frankly a bit meh, average photo, average price, and just a whisper of reviews, landed in the 9th spot, outshining some of the supposed big shots. Flipping to page 2, I spotted a listing that was even less impressive, still ranking higher than some of the crowd favorites. Then, switching gears back to my regular browser, with all its cookies and history, the scene changed. A few familiar faces from my incognito search, sure, but also a bunch of new players. This time, the superhosts were fewer and farther between. So what's the big reveal from my little experiment? There's no golden ticket, no secret handshake that'll catapult you to the top of Airbnb's search results. The algorithm's got its own rhythm, not swayed by the number of stars or the perfection of your photos. Cheaper places tucked away on page 2, a mix of high and low prices as you keep clicking, but drift far enough and the price tags start climbing. Here's the kicker. Those properties Airbnb throws at you first, they're not always the creme de la creme, and some stellar spots buried behind pages you might never flip through. Doesn't matter if you're the host with the most, rocking hundreds of reviews and a flawless rating. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're out. And here's the dramatic close you've been waiting for. Hunting for that elusive formula to boost your Airbnb ranking is like chasing shadows. Those gurus peddling secrets? Save your time and your dime, dropping big bucks on pro photos, losing sleep over getting more hearts, fretting over not having all 5-star reviews, or tweaking your listing every day won't crack the code. The hard truth, Only Airbnb knows who lands in the spotlight, and it's a toss-up. Could be you basking in the glow one day, could be someone else the next. So keep your cash in your pocket, your stress levels down, and your sanity intact. In the grand scheme, playing the algorithm game is a roll of the dice. Hey, it's Anthony Jepp here, the guy behind the book Short-Term Gain, Long-Term Pain, The Dark Side of Airbnb and Short-Term Rentals. If you're digging this video, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Now, just like those gurus I've been talking about, I've got a little skin in the game too. I make some coin from my book, but stick around because I'm about to spill the beans on some Airbnb secrets that no one else is talking about.